This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, call for a shutdown. Their loved one died at a Nova Scotia firefighting facility. Now they want it closed. Raising the alarm about a lack of AEDs in the Sheet Harbour area leads to change. And a golf course owner in Glace Bay hopes to score a new owner for his passion project.
Scattered showers and risk of thunderstorms continuing this evening. Things easing overnight, and then we'll do it all again on Wednesday. Your full forecast details are coming up.
Good evening. A family is calling for the Nova Scotia Firefighter School to be shut down. It comes after their loved one, Skylar Blackie, died 5 years ago during a routine exercise at the training facility. Angela McIver has our top story.
This is how they have their uniform when they're on shift. So we just feel by having them here, as he always would be. He's on shift protecting, so it's just our way of having him a little bit closer to us.
Skylar Blackie's parents have an entire room dedicated in his honor. He was 28 and doing a certification upgrade at the Nova Scotia Firefighter School when an expired fire extinguisher exploded. He died in hospital 11 days later.
A fire school, in my mind, should be the safest place to be for a firefighter, and it just didn't happen. They didn't inspect it and they let it go, and that's unfortunately the outcome of that was the loss of our son.
In 2022, the provincial court found the school guilty of failing to perform routine inspections and keep adequate records. Now the training facility has received 41 new safety recommendations as a result of a third-party review ordered by the court. The province says it has noted 22 high-risk activities in the report, but would not disclose details.
It's unacceptable, and we can't be quiet anymore. We can't hope and wait, because hoping and waiting could just lead to another death. And it has to change now.
The Blackie family would like to see the firefighter school closed, at least until confidence in safety standards can be restored. Truro's fire chief and Blackie's former boss backs up their calls, and so does the Atlantic Firefighters Association.
In our opinion, if Skylar's tragic death wasn't enough of a wake-up call for the people that run that institution, we're not sure that the culture will ever change when it comes to safety. Whether it's time for a change of leadership or time for the government to step in, we need to get some people together to discuss that. But at the end of the day, Nova Scotia's firefighters need a safe place to conduct their training.
The Nova Scotia Firefighter School declined an interview, but in a statement says it is actively implementing changes to create a safer training environment here at the facility. Angela McIver, CBC News, Waverley.
Two nonprofit organizations that have been creating housing and supports for people without a permanent place to live have told the legislature committee today the provincial government needs to do more. Representatives for ADSM for Women and Children and the North End Community Health Centre both pleaded for more money to fund their work. They also told the all-party committee what the province is currently doing is not enough to solve the problem.
I don't want to say I have given up hope, but I do not see as enough avenues of real hope to address this until we start to talk about permanent housing that people can afford. And that's not what we see being built, and that's not what we be seeing being created or supported.
We're not appropriately funded for it. If we're going to be a solution to a problem, which we've been counted on for the last 3 years, we really need to step up and allow these organizations to be properly funded. For me, not to have $800,000 of fundraised money from last year in my budget just to make ends meet and still tell my staff that I don't have enough money to help more people.
Both say the homelessness problem is much bigger than the official numbers suggest, and that without stable long-term funding, their organizations won't be able to continue the work they're doing, let alone expand their services to meet the ever-growing demand for help. A third person has died in a Listeria outbreak linked to the recalled plant-based milks. The death in Ontario is connected to contaminated products that include Silk brand and Great Value brand beverages. Federal health officials say the outbreak has now sickened 20 people, with 15 hospitalized. Most of the cases were in Ontario, but cases have also been reported elsewhere. 5 in Quebec, 1 in Alberta, and 1 here in Nova Scotia. A Sheet Harbour nurse turned frustration during a recent medical emergency into a demand for action. As the CBC's Luke Ettinger tells us, her efforts resulted in more AEDs available to the public in the area.
This is one of our outdoor AED cabinets. So if someone opens the cabinet, it's going to have an alarm.
There is a growing number of automated external defibrillator stations around Nova Scotia. The device is used with CPR to restore a normal heartbeat while first responders are en route. But Pam Josie didn't have access to an AED during an emergency late last year. The nurse was driving home from her clinic and noticed a man lying on the ground receiving CPR at a Sheet Harbour gas station.
And by the time I got to them, they had started CPR, and I taught CPR for 10 years in the hospital. And so I started coaching the young man.
The pair took turns until first responders arrived, helping the man survive. But the lack of first aid supplies on site stuck with Josie.
I was so frustrated that there was nothing to work with. There was no support. It felt like an eternity.
In the aftermath, Josie wrote letters to politicians and health officials, and 3 automated external defibrillators were donated by Emergency Health Services. Known as SAVE stations, the defibrillators are accessible to the public 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That was a big success in terms of a reactive approach. So we were able to put AEDs kind of along the coast. It is a little bit different in terms of rural areas because you're trying to really maximize and optimize an AED's location.
About 2,200 are registered to an online map launched 5 years ago. At the time, there were fewer than 700 devices.
The benefit in Nova Scotia is that if you call 911 and you're not trained, they will actually, the person on the other end, like a communication center call taker, will be able to run through how to do CPR and how to use an AED.
Josie is thankful to see some action in her rural community.
I'm really proud of the results that have happened. It's only the beginning.
She said the Sheet Harbour Chamber of Commerce championed the effort, and a local electrician even donated labor and supplies to hook up the devices.
So it prevents the AED battery from freezing in the wintertime. And there's a little bit of a fan right here. You can
Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Halifax.
For various reasons, divorce, separation, child custody hearings, more people are finding themselves in front of a judge in family court these days. And increasingly in Atlantic Canada, they're going it alone, without a lawyer. CBC's Cody McKay explains why that is and what can be done about it.
At some point in your life, you may find yourself here at court, dealing with a family matter. It could have to do with a divorce or a separation, a child custody negotiation. More and more Canadians are finding themselves in these courtrooms and right there in front of a judge, but without a lawyer to represent them.
What we hear from family court is that well over half of parties in family court matters of litigants represent themselves.
Commonly, we see clients who can't afford to hire a lawyer and are choosing to self-represent in a court situation, which is very, very challenging.
There are several reasons why it's gotten to this point, and affordability is a big one. People can't afford gas, rent, groceries, basic necessities, so lawyers are out of reach. According to Legal Info Nova Scotia, hourly rates for lawyers range from $150 to $500 per hour. So more Atlantic Canadians are relying on things like legal aid to get representation. But
some people may even be discouraged to apply for legal aid, thinking, well, it's going to take too long, so they don't even call. But yes, they are very swamped from what I've heard. Whether you're in HRM and in the Halifax, Dartmouth, or you're in the more rural communities, you're always going to have to wait a good couple of months.
So even if people can afford it, access overall to lawyers across Atlantic Canada is tight. Take this report from 2013 by the Action Committee on Access to Justice in Civil and Family Matters. It noted serious concerns around access. Now, fast forward to 2020, former Chief Justice of Canada Beverly McLaughlin said access to justice in civil and family matters was then at a crisis in Canada. To make matters even worse, there are factors outside of a client's control, even if they have the money and can afford a family lawyer.
We certainly have clients who have the means to hire a lawyer, and they have to go off island to find a lawyer who can address their needs.
It just adds a layer of complexity and cost and travel expense and extra confusion and stress. In a moment in people's lives, it's already confusing, expensive, time-consuming, and stressful.
People living in rural areas of Atlantic Canada are having a harder time finding lawyers to take them on. And as cities get bigger, so do the law firms. And when law firms get bigger, that means conflict of interest becomes much more common.
So there's a push towards larger law firms, but that means that it's the law firm that's conflicted. If I represent a parent in a matter, then that means that the opposing side is conflicted out from the entire office.
So it's much more likely you're going to have to hire a lawyer from somewhere else, which circles back to problems around access and affordability. Well, in New Brunswick, those problems are obvious. Family lawyers are backed up.
All of the family lawyers are just up to capacity. They're swamped. Many of them are actually they're doing their best. What they're saying to people is not, I don't care, or this isn't worth it financially, or whatever. A lot of what they're saying is we do not have time. We do not have the staffing to be able to serve you and advance your case in a timely way.
That's leading people to represent themselves in court, which is hard on everyone in the system. So what's the answer? Well, experts say that legal aid in the Atlantic provinces needs more resources, it needs more lawyers, and the provinces need to open up who qualifies for legal aid. They also need to hire more judges to make sure that court backlogs can be cut down. And in a world where more people are self-representing here in court, to have legal education available so people who go it alone don't feel like they're in the dark. Cody McKay, CBC News, Charlottetown.
All right, Ryan Snoddon with us now to talk weather on what's been a pretty nice day weather-wise in Nova Scotia, but active at the same time for some people.
Very active. Cape Breton especially, Tom, thanks so much. It was a glorious day, and then these showers and thunderstorms have really been firing up this afternoon. You can see, we'll get to these current cells in just a moment. We'll zoom in on Cape Breton and what was a very active afternoon. Now, that action, for the most part, is starting to move its way out, but in its wake, lots of 20, 30 millimeter amounts in just a few hours in a couple of spots, Benyon and also towards Glace Bay. 50 millimeters locally in those spots in particular. So yeah, these have been really, really dropping a lot of rain in a short period of time, creating some localized flash flooding. This is the area that I'm watching with certainly the greatest eye over the next hour or so. There is a little cluster here just east of the Halifax area, another one just south of Stewiacke, but this here is working its way across the Bay of Fundy. We'll see how it does moving over the cooler water temperatures, but heading into the valley here over the next hour, and a couple of cells to watch here. So again, heavy downpours, lots of lightning. When the thunder roars, head indoors. You don't want to get caught out in these. And as we back things out, this frontal boundary moving through the area, this is what's really creating a lot of the activity. It is going to be sinking southward tonight. High pressure moving in, but again, the cooler air moving in with this on the other side of this front, especially the cooler air aloft, is just going to keep things active yet again tomorrow. So the front sinks south. There's tomorrow morning. Pretty quiet start. And then you can see once again, widespread scattered showers and a risk of thunderstorms developing tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Thursday, very similar, sun and cloud. We'll see some showers developing into the afternoon with a risk of a thunderstorm. We are going to quiet down Friday and into the weekend, which is looking pretty good. Tom, your 7 days coming up.
All right, fingers crossed for that. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, the Canadian Airports Council says passenger capacity for larger airports is returning to pre-COVID levels, but it is a different story for smaller airports like the one in Sydney.
In Atlantic Canada, larger airports have almost fully recovered. But like the rest of the country, we are still seeing big gaps in small markets. So some of our regional airports are currently between 50 and 70% recovered. And as we move into the fourth quarter of the year, those numbers are projected to drop to between 46 and 65%.
I'll talk more to Nadia McDonald about this of the Airports Association, looking at the problems around getting flights to return to smaller airports. That's our Newsmaker interview just after 6:30. Speaking of new routes, another international airline is signing on to fly out of Halifax Stanfield Airport. Edelweiss Airlines will begin offering direct flights between Halifax and Zurich, Switzerland in July of next year. There will be 2 7-hour-long flights a week on Thursdays and Sundays. The airline is part of the Lufthansa group, and it's in the Star Alliance. It also plans to fly to Calgary and Vancouver. It's going to cost you a little bit more to ride the bus and take the ferry in Halifax in a couple of weeks. As of September the 1st, the adult single ride fare on Halifax Transit will increase by 25 cents to $3. Youth and senior fares will also increase by 25 cents. During budget deliberations earlier this year, the council heard the 25-cent fare increase would bring in about $700,000 this year and up to $1.2 million in future years. The increase brings HRM in line with Moncton and Fredericton, where fares are also $3 for adults. Well, after nearly 25 years doing everything from mowing the grass to fixing golf carts, the 80-year-old owner of Passchendaele Golf Course in Glace Bay is looking to sell his passion project. Kyle Moore tees up the story.
This is Harvey Ellsworth's daily routine. He spends a lot of time grooming the fairway and everything else that needs looking after at his Glace Bay Golf Course.
From daylight till dark. I come at 5:30, 6 o'clock, sometimes 4:30 when it's the longer days.
It's a labor of love in the way Ellsworth has made a living since opening the course in July of 2000. This former farm was quickly turned into a dream job after Ellsworth says he felt there was a need for another course in the area, so he went to work.
We put 40,000 feet of drainage into it and a complete watering system where we were going to put the tees and greens, and we went from there after that. So it took about 2 years to build.
Passchendaele's popularity peaked during COVID. With a number of sports canceled because of the pandemic, golf seemed to be the game of choice. Ellsworth says he saw a spike in people hitting the greens, which helped his bottom line.
Well, it was a struggle for about 10 years, but it's turned out nice. We have great greens, great fairways now.
The family-run business is led by Ellsworth's wife, Anne, who puts a lot of long hours inside. It's the camaraderie that keeps them going.
The atmosphere, the people that come, they're great guys, great women here. We've got a lot of good customers.
The 9-hole golf course is located in the heart of Glace Bay. Ellsworth says they see about 12,000 golfers between April and October. And after almost 25 years in business, he's hoping to soon retire and has listed the course for sale.
I just turned 80. My wife is 79. Next year we'll celebrate our 60th wedding anniversary. It's time.
Ellsworth says whoever buys the course will have to be committed and have the right attitude, but he admits it will be hard to let go.
I will probably come and volunteer a little bit of help if they want it, and we'll see what happens. And see if we're lucky enough to sell it. And if not, we'll be here next spring.
The price tag, $1.7 million. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Glace Bay.
Coming up, controlling the pet population. We'll head to Stewiacke, where a rescue group is spaying and neutering barn cats. And expanding access. Canada's telecom regulator is allowing smaller internet providers to use large competitors' fiber networks. Halifax Harbour looks pretty nice tonight, doesn't it? Ryan back with that full weather forecast right after this quick break. All right, never a dull moment in the weather center, as they say. A beautiful day for many parts of the province, and then a lot of activity here, there, and everywhere, it seems almost.
Yeah, in case you missed it earlier, 50 millimeters locally, Benyon, and also the Glace Bay area. So, and then those are two of the higher numbers, but widespread 20, 30 millimeter amounts in and around much of eastern Cape Breton this afternoon. So that's where they were hit hard. This spot here, Peggy's Cove.
That looks pretty nice there.
Pretty nice. Lovely evening, and always a busy spot, always a lovely spot, of course, at Peggy's Cove. And thanks to, of course, Nova Scotia webcams for this shot. And yeah, beautiful evening there with a few folks taking it in. But if you are heading out this evening, you're going to want to just keep an eye on the radar as things are active out there. As we look at those current temperatures, 26 in Halifax. Note the airport has dropped to 19 with a little cell moving through there with some wet weather, and 17 at Sydney, 20 Port Hawkesbury, 24 at Shelburne. So there's the little area that has moved through the Halifax airport area and now is an Enfield, now is heading towards the city, but looks like it's going to miss the city just to the east. It's this cluster here that I'm really keeping an eye on. These are some very heavy downpours, and as I mentioned earlier, working out into the cooler waters of the Bay of Fundy, so this may fizzle as it works its way towards the valley, but likely some heavier downpours here either way when that crosses the water and starts to work into eastern areas of the valley. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Most of the heavier action now has started to clear away from Guysborough and Cape Breton. We are still seeing some isolated cells to the north of this. So lots of heavy downpours, lots of lightning. Keep your eye in the sky through this evening. This front will sink south, allowing these skies to clear as we work into tonight, and then we'll do it all again tomorrow. We'll time that out in a sec. First, got to show you Ernesto. Still a tropical storm, 93 kilometer per hour sustained winds. We'll update this National Hurricane Center track, and you can see tomorrow night is when that makes that critical turn to the north. Still set to impact Bermuda late Friday, more so throughout the day on Saturday. Looking more and more likely that's going to be a Category 2 storm for them. Sunday afternoon, this is as far as the cone of uncertainty goes. And remember, the center of the storm can be anywhere within this cone. Now I'm going to pop on the spaghetti models, which is essentially every one of these lines is where a particular forecast model thinks the center of the storm is going to be. So if the center of the storm is over here, well, this could still impact us. The further east we go, the better that is, of course. And I will say, over the last 24 hours or so, the models have been trending east with that track. So fingers, toes, everything crossed, of course. Not out of the woods yet, of course, but still early in the game. But we're all eyes on this over the next few days, so make sure you do stay tuned. Either way, any impacts would be early next week. Now, for tonight, temperatures 14 to 16 degrees for most of us. That risk for showers and thunderstorms. Watch the timing of all this. Could be as late as midnight before those cells finally clear away, and it looks like it could possibly linger, especially through central areas that late. Now, as we move into tomorrow, sun and cloud, and then those scattered showers and risk for thunderstorms will fire up again into the afternoon. So another active afternoon set. Temperatures 20 to 22 degrees across Cape Breton. The winds will be from the east tomorrow, so cooler in those easterly winds. Warmer Port Hood, back towards Antigonish and into the mainland, looking at temperatures in the 22 to 24 range with the winds generally from the northeast, but they'll be fairly light, so probably a sea breeze setting up here along the south shore region. And then for Thursday, again, light winds overall, temperatures 22 to 26 degrees, a little cooler in Cape Breton. Again, a similar story with these scattered showers and thunderstorms developing into the afternoon. Nice starts to the day, it's just isolated, the action popping up into the afternoon. Isolated risk again on Friday, but less so than what we'll see the next 2 days. The weekend looking good, and then keeping an eye again on early next week, Tom.
Yeah, please do. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan. We'll talk later.
Thank you.
Well, more than 25 cats were spayed or neutered at Stewiacke River Animal Hospital today as part of a drive-by cat rescue Maritimes. The charity, better known by the acronym KARMA, aims to reduce the feral cat population and help communities dealing with cat colonies. Vernon Ramasar went to Stewiacke to find out more.
I'm here with Dr. Catherine Finlayson, who's a veterinarian at the Stewiacke River Animal Hospital, and she and her technician Sean have been performing spays and neuters on over 20 cats today. Dr. Finlayson, tell me why it's important that you're doing this and why you're doing this.
Well, it's important because there's a really big problem right now with overpopulation of pets. And there's a few different rescue organizations within the Maritimes that help to spay and neuter some cats. So recently I was contacted by Karma, which is a spay-neuter program. This particular Karma group is out of Colchester or Truro area. And they were having some concerns because the cats that they had available to adopt out had kind of gotten ahead of them. The veterinarian industry right now is in a bit of a crisis as far as understaffing. And so, of course, things had gotten a little bit out of hand, and right now they were looking to have 42 cats spayed and neutered. So our clinic agreed to do 22 cats today.
Now, is the cat population a problem in rural areas in particular?
It is a problem probably everywhere. So in rural areas in particular, sometimes some of the farms, unfortunately, people sometimes can drop cats off and they can kind of get out of hand. But you'll also see, a lot of areas within the cities and towns where we're getting too many cats in different colonies.
Now, over the weekend, Bidewile in the HRM took in 24 cats and kittens that somebody had been hoarding, and there's apparently 60 more waiting to be dealt with. Is hoarding something that you see often in your practice, and does it often start off with best intentions of people?
Yeah, I think mostly it's best intentions, and then, it doesn't take much for, a cat to have kittens, and then the next thing you know, it's just gotten completely out of hand. So it's not something we see commonly, but certainly I've seen it on occasion over the years, having practiced for a number of years.
And the cats that you were dealing with today, where did they come from? And what sort of cats were they?
Well, these cats are actually all adoptable. So some of these cats, the Karma group had picked up from different colonies or communities. And some of them had actually been in what they call foster programs, where they've actually been in homes with people. So most of them are pretty tame, and the majority of these cats are going to be adopted out to homes. In some cases, some of the cats they pick up are feral cats. And so those cats, they'll tend to trap them, and then they get spayed and neutered and then released back into the population.
Will you be doing more work with Karma as we go forward?
Yes, historically I've always worked with Karma and a couple of other rescue organizations. So we're going to try to help them get some of this under control for the time being.
Dr. Finlayson, thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Up next, I'll talk with Nadia McDonald of the Atlantic Canada Airports Association about the challenges smaller airports like Sydney's, for example, are facing trying to get airlines to come back. That's our Newsmaker interview. Stay with us. You're watching CBC Nova Scotia News. According to the Canadian Airports Council, these remain turbulent times for this country's regional airports. While larger airports are seeing a rebound, smaller ones are still sitting far below 2019 levels. Nadia McDonald is Executive Director of the Atlantic Canada Airports Association. So, Ms. McDonald, what kind of days are these for airports in this region, particularly the smaller ones?
Yeah, so, regional markets have recovered at a slower rate. So some regional markets, smaller regions, were about 20 points behind the national average. In Atlantic Canada, larger airports have almost fully recovered. But like the rest of the country, we are still seeing big gaps in small markets. So some of our regional airports are currently between 50 and 70% recovered. And as we move into the fourth quarter of the year, those numbers are projected to drop to between 46 and 65%.
So what kind of an impact is that having?
Yeah, so, some of the regions that it does affect are, similar to across the country, regions like London and Sault Ste. Marie and Windsor. Comparably in Atlantic Canada, they would be, airports like Bathurst, Sydney, and Gander. And, since I'm talking to CBC Nova Scotia, I'll give you, Nova Scotia example. So connectivity between regional airports like Sydney into Halifax, it's vital. It's vital for economic development of rural Nova Scotia, rural Atlantic Canada. This connection is so important, to the continued growth of that region. So for businesses and frequency of flight, it's a game changer. And it's the main reason why it could be the main reason why businesses either set up in the region or don't. So, for example, there used to be 5 flights a day, and now there are none.
And obviously that connectivity, that's a big impact or big issue there. Where there are flights, what impact is it having on fares?
Yeah, so you know what? There's a lot of different factors at play that air carriers are contending with. So there's a few things that they're contending with right now, and supply chain challenges, engines, we've heard about manufacturing issues there. Some have been recalled, and that impacts their fleet. There's market shifts, and they've been moving to larger aircraft. So during the pandemic, air carriers took an opportunity to kind of, streamline their fleet and decided to use larger planes upon return. So this allows airlines to fly less frequently, but carrying more passengers. So for airlines, that means, less fuel costs because of less flights are flying, and also means larger profit margins for them. But this also means less connectivity for smaller markets.
And I suppose also a question of survivability for some of these airports, wondering how long you can continue without having these connecting flights. What are those conversations like between the airports and the airlines in that regard?
Yeah, so you know what? There is a lot being done. We still need help, though. We want to see aviation supported and invested in, like the economic value and the driver that it brings to our region. And we're working collaboratively with provincial partners and federal ones, and the premiers are working together and discussing this. Lots of great minds are working together and are at the table to help reconnect our region. And again, because our sector is so vital to our way of life. But you know what? More can always be done.
So what would you like to see done? I mean, obviously you're having these conversations and government's involved and so on, but what kind of needs to happen in your mind?
You know what? We've been calling for infrastructure funding for small airports so they can get through this time and rebuild. We're working with our partners and the government in Atlantic Canada to raise the importance of air travel and air service to these smaller communities. And it's really, as mentioned, it's a vital way of our life. So we're asking for really, it's going to take full partnership. If you look at the US, they have essential air service programs, and they have the Small Communities Air Service Program, and that supports smaller routes in smaller communities while they build back. And it really, it takes all partners working together to make this happen. And there really is true collaboration amongst airports and airport partners and government in Atlantic Canada to work together to keep our regions, our workers and our healthcare workers and passengers connected to each other, within Atlantic Canada, to Canada, and the rest of the world.
Any sense of how quickly things might be able to change? I mean, those are some pretty steep hills if there's pilot shortages and infrastructure concerns and change of aircraft changing and that kind of size of the aircraft changing, that kind of thing. What's the forecast looking like?
Listen, we're working super hard with these partners. I know everybody's in the same, mindset that this needs to happen sooner than later. And we're really just working together as fast as we can to see how we can, continue to have our partners and air carriers and airports just really continue to work together collaboratively to get us and keep us connected.
Okay, Nadia, it's a big job, I know. Thanks so much for talking to us about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Coming up, rebuilding challenges. Residents of a community in the Northwest Territories destroyed by wildfire last year say they need more support. In national news, Canada's telecommunications regulator has ordered large phone companies to give competitors access to their existing fiber internet networks for a fee. The CRTC's ruling is aimed at stimulating competition for internet services. Anis Haderi has the details.
Canadians looking for internet service may have a few more choices soon. That is, if the CRTC has its way. The regulator is forcing the big phone companies with fast fiber optic networks to allow competitors to use them. It means the smaller guys don't have to dig up their own lines.
This is something that we fought for years. I'm pretty confident that TechSavvy will make fiber services available.
The idea that you're going to have competitive ISPs building out their own infrastructure to connect all Canadian homes, that ain't going to happen. It's not desirable. It's not economic.
The goal is more players in the market, but whether that lowers prices depends on how much the CRTC lets the big companies charge for sharing.
But it's really hard to say whether it's going to actually translate into more competition until we see those rates, which now we expect by the end of the year.
In exchange for being forced to share existing fiber with smaller competitors, the big companies don't have to share anything they build from now on for 5 years.
Basically, it's a head start rule that gives the incumbents a head start as if they need any more incentives and favors.
As for what those incumbents think, Bell and Telus didn't get back to CBC News, and the Canadian Telecommunications Association, which represents the big companies, said it didn't have a comment at this time. But the last time the CRTC made a similar move, Bell threatened to cut back on investing in fiber optics. As for when new competitors can start using those networks, the CRTC says it wants to see that by next February. Anis Hidari, CBC News, Calgary.
Fiber networks owned by cable companies such as Rogers Communications are exempt from the expanded mandate because their fiber footprint is relatively small. It's been 1 year since the hamlet of Enterprise in the Northwest Territories was ravaged by wildfire. The vast majority of the community was destroyed and its future is still unclear. Residents say they need more support, especially for those who don't have insurance. The CBC's Natalie Pressman has more.
The hamlet of Enterprise is celebrating its 25th annual Jamboree. For some, a reunion after last summer's wildfire forced the entire community of about 100 residents to evacuate. But just one road over, lots sit empty, scattered with belongings that survived the fire.
Nothing. This used to be houses.
90% of the hamlet was destroyed, and Kathy Kimball is the only resident to rebuild so far. She says it's lonely.
When you're used to a school bus going by, you know it's a weekday, and you could hear kids at that time. Now you just lose track of time because there's nothing to jog your memory to what day it is.
Insurance helped Kimball rebuild, but many residents didn't have any.
We didn't insure because we couldn't afford it.
Genevieve Clark is living with her daughter in Hay River. She wants to rebuild an Enterprise, but doesn't think she can afford it and wonders how much of the community can.
About 40% we're uninsured. And if we lose 40% of the money we have for running the community, I don't know if we'll survive.
Enterprise's mayor says there needs to be more support, particularly for the uninsured.
The government has to, and this is the federal government, has to come up with a plan where natural disasters are declared differently under the insurance policies.
Lots are being cleared for those who want to return, but others aren't sure.
You know, the deck used to be here and the fire came through so hot.
This is all that's left of Winnie Caju's gift shop. This community was home for 40 years, but starting over feels daunting.
How am I ever going to come back and have any semblance of the life that I had here before? It's pretty much impossible.
A year on, and still so much uncertainty about the future of this once tight-knit community. Natalie Pressman, CBC News, Enterprise, Northwest Territories.
Thousands of people have been forced out of their homes by a wildfire burning near Athens. From helicopter water bombers to residents with hoses and buckets, every resource is being poured into the firefighting effort. The fire was pushed out of the hills north of the capital by gale force winds. More than 700 firefighters backed by volunteers, hundreds of pieces of equipment and aircraft have been battling the flames since Sunday. Officials say they have stopped the fire's advance. Greece has called for assistance from other EU members. The rape and murder of a medical resident has triggered a nationwide strike by young doctors in India. They say violence against healthcare workers is prevalent and they're demanding justice and better protection while at work. The CBC's Kayla Hounsell has more.
Across India, thousands of doctors are demanding justice for a young woman who lost her life while she was at work to save others. A medical resident found dead in a hospital in Kolkata in eastern India Friday.
It could have been me. It could have been any of us.
Dr. Simran Kaur Dhaliwal is a second-year resident in a public hospital in Mumbai. She says there's no security, no surveillance, and no on-call rooms.
We do 36 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours duty non-stop. We need to take rest somewhere. There is no place.
The 31-year-old woman was reportedly doing just that, trying to take a rest in a seminar room when she was attacked.
You know, it's more than horrific, it's gruesome and it's...
The case is making headlines in India. Police say the woman was raped and murdered and that a police volunteer has been arrested. We are demanding the death penalty for the criminal caught in the case, says this protesting doctor. India did execute 4 men convicted of raping and murdering a woman on a bus in Delhi in a case that shocked the world 12 years ago. The Indian Medical Association says more than 75% of doctors have faced some form of violence. Doctors are demanding a Central Protection Act that seeks to give them better protection and establish clear penalties for offenders. They also demanded that the investigation be transferred to the CBI, India's federal police, seen by protesters as more trustworthy than local police. Late Tuesday, a high court ordered that will happen.
They must return to their services considering the commitment shown by the state government.
For now, the striking doctors are not backing down. They say they became healthcare workers to help people, but now they need help themselves. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, London.
It has been a decade since the death of Tina Fontaine. The body of the 15-year-old girl was found in Winnipeg's Red River in August of 2014. Fontaine became a symbol of violence against Indigenous women and girls and was a catalyst for the national inquiry. But some want to see more action as they look for her legacy to live on. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel reports.
Everything in Thelma Favel's house reminds her of her grandniece, Tina Fontaine.
Everything, especially her room. That's where I feel so much closer to her.
The curtains in Favel's living room have been closed since the 15-year-old was killed in 2014. It stops her from looking to see if Tina is walking home.
She was so full of life, so happy.
In the last 10 years, Favel has lived through losing Tina and seeing her accused murderer be acquitted 4 years after her death.
These last 10 years have been so hard.
Favel and her friend will host a walk and feast on Saugeen Anishinaabe Nation on Saturday in honor of all Indigenous people.
The shadows of the past are the light of tomorrow.
She'll also read a letter to Tina. August 17th is the day her body was pulled from the Red River in Winnipeg a decade ago. Her death became a catalyst for change, including the national inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
It's important for us as a government.
Manitoba's first First Nations women in cabinet say Tina left an impactful legacy.
People are getting involved and saying, we want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of the solution.
The majority of the national inquiry's calls for justice, though, have not been completed. And the Manitoba advocate for children and youth, Sherry Gott, says all of her office's recommendations on Tina's case also aren't done.
I continue to call on government to come up with a plan for youth, particularly response for youth that are experiencing crisis in mental health and addictions.
Bernadette Smith says the provincial government is focused on the gaps and where help is needed. Manitoba does expect to release its first MMIW G2S Plus strategy this fall.
Tina Fontaine's legacy literally has saved lives. That little girl has saved lives from coast to coast to coast.
Back in Saugeen, changes are also underway. The First Nation is developing a family law to take over jurisdiction of child and family services. Favel's friend Marilyn Courchain believes the law would have made a difference for Tina.
It is a foundation
of something that had to happen, that needs to happen because of what had happened to this little girl. So the people have started saying, enough's enough, we need to do this. We need to protect our children.
I held on to her for 10 long, agonizing years because when she died, part of me died also. Now she wants me to let go.
She says her letter to Tina is her way of saying goodbye.
She'll never be forgotten, but it is time to let her go.
Fayval hopes to open her curtains once again, but says Tina's legacy has to live on. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, one of my favorite segments in the show where we get to peer in on a special place or thing in the province of Nova Scotia. You have a pick tonight.
I do, and have a look. Let's go to the Yarmouth area, just north of Yarmouth, in fact, Port Maitland. And of course, the Northern Lights, Tom, have been really putting on a show the last few nights.
Wow.
Bill
Sky's
Curry.
on fire there, isn't it?
Really is. Thanks to Bill for sharing. We've got more in the mailbox. Tomorrow, I've got another Northern Lights pick that just came in today. So the mailbox keeps filling up. Love it. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. So scattered showers continue this evening and into the early overnight. Watching a couple of cells right now, one working its way into the HRM, rolling out of Sackville into Bedford, and that is heading towards the peninsula. So be mindful of that. Another one working its way through Advocate Harbor and working its way towards the valley. So we're and across the Bay of Fundy. So eastern areas of the valley will get clipped there. Tomorrow, similar story, scattered showers, risk of thunderstorms. That's going to be the name of the game. And after a nice start, because it'll start, unlike today, which started with some of those showers in the morning, it looks quieter to start the day for tomorrow, and then more action into the afternoon and evening. As we look into Thursday's forecast, a very similar story. Light winds on Thursday. We'll see sun, cloud, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms developing into the afternoon. There's the front that is going to be ushering in that slightly cooler air mass, so certainly drier. You can see all that action tomorrow. Thursday, again, looking quite active with the showers and thunderstorms developing into the afternoon. Friday, thankfully, just very isolated chances as most of the activity is going to be further offshore. And just to look at that muggy meter, love to look at that, don't you?
Low, isn't it? That's nice.
No truly tropical in that 7-day forecast there.
All right, like to look at that. Thanks so much, Ryan. Well, for art lovers, viewing the famous painting Starry Night means heading to a museum in New York. Now, Vincent van Gogh's masterpiece can also be seen in the rolling hills of central Bosnia. It features 130,000 lavender bushes and other herbs, which form colorful circles and spirals across 10,000 square meters. The idea came to a businessman 6 years ago when he noticed tractors had left spiral-shaped wheel tracks in a hay meadow.
The pattern reminded him of the swirling motifs of Van Gogh's oil painting, created in 1889. It's meant to depict the view from the artist's room at an asylum where he stayed following a nervous breakdown. Now you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.